So, in seconding this amendment, I thank Councillor Green for proposing it. In case colleagues hadn't worked out, we agreed to amend the amendment because we understand that Councillor Clements is happy to accept our proposal that the Council gets behind reinstatement of the northbound high-speed rail route, as well as criticising the removal of it, get behind reinstating it. Because the fact is that if Keir Starmer made a statement now that Labour will reinstate that line, it would become very, very difficult to sell that land off. And as we've heard, Keir Starmer is a little bit ambivalent about matters such as this. But I'm very grateful for Councillor Clements falling behind this. And I have a deep passion for this because it was 15 years ago in this chamber I had the privilege of moving the motion which secured all party support in this council chamber for high-speed rail, when it was still a glimmer in the eyes of planners. And it's quite heartbreaking to see the way it's been mismanaged since. And it's still necessary, that's the issue. In December last month, I travelled by train twice to London, and twice my trains out of Euston were cancelled. In fact, it's very hard to find a working train in the evenings out of Euston back to Birmingham, and that really highlights the fragility of that West Coast main line. And there are other routes available, and you go and find them when you can't get out of Euston, but it takes all night to do so. It highlights the fragility of that West Coast main line and the need for that extra capacity if rail is to be a real option in this country and a real safe and secure option. So I hope we are going to get behind moving forward with high-speed rail, and just let's hope it's managed better by somebody sometime in the future. There's a couple of other things touched on in our amendment, and Councillor Green talked about electric vehicles, and we did agree to remove the line about private drivers and private hire from the amendment, and there's a huge debate here, and you see it opened up in yesterday's road safety strategy about the right level of vehicle ownership in this city. Frankly, I'm a Liberal. I believe that if people want to invest in an expensive car, they should be allowed to do so. It helps the economy, but on the other hand, that doesn't give them a right to give themselves superiority over other road users, over pedestrians and cyclists. The fact you spent money on an expensive car means you spent money on an expensive car, not that you've spent money on a right to terrorise other road users. So it's a matter of balance, and actually Councillor Harris in the previous debate mentioned one of the issues which the Council's bottled on, drop curbs. The Council only recently agreed a new drop curb strategy, and frankly it was tepid and weak. And what I would have spoken about in the last debate was the fact that in my ward, the tarmacking and paving over all those front gardens is massively and seriously aggravating flooding risk. Now, it doesn't mean that people can't do that, but there are better ways of doing it than they're doing it now. And the whole system, the council drop curb system, the planning system, is not encouraging people in the right direction. And the third issue is about buses. And I did come by bus today. And when I got off my bus, I didn't bother to look for the metro stop. I know where it is now. When I got off the 51 and X51 stop all over the place. But if I was new to it, if I newly had a bus pass, I wouldn't know where to find that link with the metro. 12 years ago we put in the current signage, it's never been renovated. Things are happening in the city centre, new lines. You get off a bus, you don't know where to find the metro stops. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you.